Hey mama, welcome back to Mommy Reboot TV. I'm your host, Jody Agard. Okay, so today I just really want to have a chat. I'm calling this Self-Care in a Crisis series and Self-Care 911 and what Self-Care 911 is. So here's the deal. First of all, you like my little backdrop? Yep, it's not the forest. I'm in my bedroom. How about that, Muffles? I just had to point that out because I'm loving it. It's new. Why not bring nature inside, right? Okay, so then there's this thing called self-care, and then there's also this thing called self-care, like with capital letters. And essentially that's what Self-Care 911 is that it would be wonderful to have a 911 plan like already in place, kind of like how you would if there was a hurricane coming or if there was some kind of tornado or, you knew that there was a birth coming, whatever the case is. If you knew something was coming, you would prepare for it. Well, sometimes you just don't have that opportunity. You just have to deal with what you've got. And the thing is that we are in a crisis right now. Like, let's not deny that. Let's not try to polish a turd here. It just is what it is. And I think what most moms, at least what I've been experiencing lately with having my son here being homeschooled, is that there's this innate pull to just want to mother, just want to take care of, and just want to fix and to heal and to make sure we're doing all the things right. I've noticed that I'm also doing it with my husband, just making sure that I'm doing extra meals and blah, blah, blah. There's this pull to nurture and to nurture the people who are around us. And right now, that is every bit damn body. So, hence Self-Care 911 is because what's really important is to know your triggers. So for instance, if you feel like you're becoming burnt out, if you are feeling super overwhelmed, if you are feeling like you just want to freaking run and hide from everybody right now, or if you're feeling irritable and extra cranky, maybe you're extra teary, those are triggers. Those are, for me at least, when those go off, that's a red flag for me that says, okay, something's off here. And most likely when you rewind, it usually leads back to the simple fact that you haven't been giving yourself enough attention, nurturing and caring for. It's usually a matter of just giving too much and not receiving. So if that's you, and whether or not that's you, if you're not in that space right now, that's okay too. The whole point though is to make sure that you have that on top of mind, because what you may have been doing for self-care before this pandemic took place isn't going to work right now. It's just not. We have new circumstances. We're in a new season of life right now. Things are changing rapidly. Our old circumstances and our old self-care plan, if you had one, it just won't work. At least maybe not to the level of the time that you have to spend on yourself. And that's the power of it, though, is recognizing that that's okay. That's the old plan, and it doesn't mean that there can't be a plan. It just means the old plan isn't going to be effective in a time of crisis and in a time of survival, because that's essentially what we're all doing right now. We're doing what we can do to survive as the world around us just changes, like almost on a day-to-day basis. But that doesn't mean that just because our kids are home, just because our families are home, that we forget about ourselves. In fact, this is the time to rise the heck up and to say nothing is more important than taking care of myself right now. And I really want you to stop and hear that for a second. There's nothing more important than taking care of yourself right now. And what might be coming up is this idea, this fake BS belief that you're selfish. And oh my gosh, who am I to put myself first? No way. We're having a crisis here. I put everybody else first. No, because you have to remember that any time that you take for yourself, that's an investment of your time. It's not taking away from anybody. That me time, that 5 minutes of breathing on your bed, that crying on your patio because you just can't take it anymore, that 30-minute smut TV show, that reading a book matters, and that's adding value to your life. And the truth is right now you have a lot being handed to you, and a lot of things are thrown at you. So you have to put yourself first right now. You have to just continue to show up for yourself, and you have to just be honestly shameless about it. So I have a rule of thumb that I've applied for myself, and it is basically this. When shit hits the fan, up level your self-care. And right now, shit is hitting the fan, at least in my house. I've got way more to-dos. I've got, kids at home and just more stuff to think about. And so what happens is that feels counterintuitive. No, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. I'm supposed to be doing this and that. No, actually, you first. You first, and then when you do show up for your kids, because the truth is that our kids, all they want is to feel like they have our attention and they have patience and we have patience and that they have our presence and they have our understanding and they have our love and they have our nurturing and they have all these things. But the truth is we cannot give them those things unless we're willing to give them to ourselves first, which is why self-care is so imperative right now. And even if you didn't have a self-care plan beforehand, now is the time to start one. And again, it's going to look different when things start to kind of settle. Who knows? Weeks, months, I don't know, who knows? But when things start to settle, then it's going to shift again. But that's the beauty of it. And that's what you have to remember is that allowing yourself to have different self-care in different seasons. And right now we're in a new season. We're in a brand new season, a season that we've never dealt with before, a season that is challenging us to grow and pushing ourselves and pushing the limits of our attention and pushing our priorities. It's just pushing us on so many different levels, which is why it's so important to stop and take a breath and to do something for yourself every single day, even if it's just 5 minutes. And that's really the point that I really want to drive in more than anything else, is that don't buy into this BS belief that self-care and taking care of yourself and me time and nurturing has to be hours on end. It doesn't. And you can do it for free. You can do it without a babysitter. You can do it for yourself just by taking 5 minutes to read a book, looking up at the sky, listening to the birds. I mean, really bringing presence in and maybe meditating. But maybe your meditating is just taking deep breaths and quieting your thoughts because they're racing right now. Maybe your form of self-care is to take a quick bath. Maybe it's just to make sure that you're taking a shower every day because the kids are busy and they do have things. But what are you doing for yourself? Give those things back to yourself. No matter what is going on, no matter what is happening in your life, just make sure that you're putting yourself at the top of your priority list. Now more than ever, our kids need us and our family needs us. And we can only be there 100,000% for them if we're willing to give those same things back to ourselves. The same nurturing and the same caring and the same love that we so easily give to everybody else around us. Just all I'm asking is just make sure that you are attentive, that you are giving yourself those very same things. And essentially that's what Self-Care 911 is. It's basically nothing else matters. Nothing else matters except for this 5 minutes of sitting on my bed and breathing. Nothing else matters but, this 15-minute show that I'm going to laugh my ass off while I watch. Nothing else matters than connecting to my girlfriend and just venting and just having that chat session with a girl who totally gets it. Nothing else matters than snuggling with a pet or reading your favorite book or doing yoga or whatever the thing is for you. Just nothing else matters. And again, don't buy into this belief that it has to be forever and it has to be this long drawn out practice. It doesn't. Self-care in the meantime is as simple as brushing your teeth. You could quite literally brush your teeth and read your affirmations and have that be something for you and have that be called me time. Have that be called self-care. It's really as simple as that. Ultimately, what self-care is to basically just stop and put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you go helping everybody else. That's essentially what it is. And we as moms tend to make it a little bit more complicated than it really needs to be. But right now we don't have time for that. We have to just get over the guilt. We have to get over feeling bad about it. We have to get over this idea that it has to be complex. We have to get over this idea that we don't deserve it and that it's selfish. No, that's us playing small. So we just have to get over all those BS beliefs that we've been programmed to essentially believe and redefine what the modern day mother looks like inside of a pandemic. That's what Self-Care 911 is. Okay, my rant is over. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be the Self-Care 911 series. So I will be back. So make sure that you stay tuned because I have exactly what Self-Care 911 is going to look like inside of a pandemic and what we can do every single day just to breathe, just to feel a little bit more okay. Because essentially, again, that's what self-care is doing the things that lift our hearts, that make us just feel a little bit more okay inside so that we can show up to our kids and we can show up to our families in a way that they deserve, essentially. Okay, if you are not already a part of my Mommy Reboot Facebook group, we would love, love, love to have you because we're a group of non-judgy moms just hanging out, having conversations like these. And if you thought of a friend who really needs to hear this message right now, who's really having a hard time inside this pandemic, send her this video. Send her the link, send her my page, and you be well. You take care of yourself. Remember, Self-Care 911 is just that, is just making sure that nothing else is more of a priority than taking care of yourself in little, small, tiny little ways. See you later.